colour has always been really important to the queer community. Lavender, for example, or violet has been associated with lesbianism since the time of Sappho. But before the colour pink came to be associated with gay men in the 20th century, the colour most immediately associated with them was green. Why green? Nobody's quite sure of that one, but this link goes right back to the ancient Roman world. The Latin word for a man who bottoms for another man is conatus. Now, Romans were pretty okay with same-sex relationships between men as long as you weren't the conatus, as long as you were doing the manly bit, and not, as they saw it, taking the role of the woman, which is what they thought the conatus was. So when the conatus are discussed, they're often described as being very effeminate, very morally louche, very decadent, and often they're wearing the colour green. They're called galbanatus, which is a very particular type of green. I think that if we could see it today, it'd be more like chartreuse, because it's a very vivid green with a lot of yellow in it. And if you want to know more about the conatus and their use of the colour green, this essay is available to read for free online, and it is very good. But the Roman poet Juvenal, for example, describes effeminate men as being dressed in green satin. Martial is another poet, and he describes somebody as having green morals. And he's describing a very effeminate man. So there's a very strong argument to be made that green in the Roman world meant that you were a man who bottomed for another man. And the colour green was linked with gay men right up to the 19th and into the early 20th century. Havelock Ellis was a 19th century pioneering sexologist. He was one of the first people to say that same-sex attraction isn't a moral failing or something sinful. It's just the way things are. The language he uses is very clumsy, but he's the first one doing it. He called gay men and gay women inverts. And this is an extract from his 1897 Psychology of Sex. And it is mostly scientific, but some of it is just bonkers. For example, if you look right underneath me here, male inverts are sometimes unable to whistle. I don't know where that comes from. But if we continue, in both sexes, a notable youthfulness of appearance is often preserved into adult age. The love of green, which is normally a preferred colour chiefly by children, and especially girls, is frequently observed. So if you can't whistle and you love the colour green, well, that's just a dead giveaway. And then, of course, there's this man. Oscar Wilde popularised the wearing of a green carnation as a signifier that you were in the gay community. Apparently, he'd adopted this trend from Paris, where they wouldn't have worn a green carnation, they'd have worn like a green silk scarf, but still green. And he famously asked his friends when they were attending the opening of his play Lady Windermere's Fan in 1892 to wear a green carnation on their left lapel, which they duly did, and a fashion trend was born. Well, for those in the know. Then there's this book, The Green Carnation, published by Robert Hitchens in 1894, which was based on Oscar Wilde's relationships with men, and had to be withdrawn from publication during the Oscar Wilde trial. And it wasn't just in Britain. This is an extract from George Chauncey's book, Gay New York, where he tells the history of the gay subculture in New York. And he's talking here about the 1920s, but you can see he's done a lot of research about how green was used there too. Look here, green suits were said to be identifiers of gay people. And right below me here is an extract from a physician written in 1916. Inverts are generally said to prefer green. So there you have it. Before pink became our primary colour to signify effeminacy in men, it was green.